So every time somebody calls me, my video cuts off, really. So I'm gonna try to pick up where I left off here and hopefully be able to put these videos together. So I don't even know where I was, if it, obviously the video just stopped. So I was talking about Gerson therapy, the juicing, it's 13 times a day. Enemas are 4 to 6 times a day. He takes a steroid right now for the inflammation in his back. He takes an antacid pain reliever when he needs it. He's taking frankincense topically. He's also taking it orally in capsules. We've talked to an aromatherapist for that. We test his pH, try to do that 3 times a day. We're trying to keep his pH in his body between 7 and 8, which is hard. His pH regularly is 6 or 6.25. And so we're working really hard on getting up his pH in his body because cancer cannot exist in an alkaline environment. And that anything below 7 is acidic. So I actually recommend you testing your urine. I know that sounds crazy, but your pH balance needs to be between 7 and 8. We do ASIAC T, which is ESSIAC daily. And today, I'll tell you why we're going to start workouts, and we're under a doctor's care for that, and I'll tell you about that. And we're starting apricot seeds. So if you want to look that up, you sure can. And here's the great thing that happened yesterday. Okay, we went to church, and we already have been friends with the pastor. Big surprise there, right? You know Charlie. And so I saw him ahead of time and I said, listen, I know you're going up to do your talk and everything, but I need to talk to you. And I just said this really quickly, so these words are a little bit harsh. Sorry about that. But I just said, do you remember me? And he goes, yes, Trixie. And I said, yes. I said, my husband was told 5 days ago that he has terminal cancer and has weeks to live. We need you. And he looked at me, he goes, you find me after church. And so I said, okay. So we went, and worship was amazing. You know, the music started, and Charlie's never raised his hands during worship. Of course I do. I'm very expressive and what have you, but his hands were in the air. My hands were in the air. I got so filled with the Holy Spirit, and just my energy was, my whole body was shaking. I had to sit down in my seat, and I put my hand on his back the whole time I was worshiping, and just really just praising God. And I was thankful, and I know I'm begging like a child for a miracle, but I don't know if you guys saw my video from yesterday, but my hand was just super swollen. It was just huge. And I couldn't cut with scissors. I couldn't open a jar, but, I also couldn't complain to him the pain that I had. I tried wrapping it all up and had my, my fist was like this. And then I was saying, well, go over there. And of course he made a lot of jokes about that. But anyway, by the time that church was over, I could move my hand. Hopefully this isn't weird to you, but I don't even care. I'm just telling you what happened. I could move my hand. The swelling went down within hours. I was able to come home. I was able to help with the juicing. I was able to wash the floors. I was able to do things again because I had to do things with my left hand for 2 days. It was crazy. So anyway, we got done with the worship, and the message was off the charts. It was all about Thanksgiving. And pastor said, I want you to think about a struggle that you're going through right now. And I'm like, oh, that's easy. And after he, obviously that came to mind, he said, now I want you to thank God for it. And I was like, you really want to push me on this one. But he said, I want you to think deeper. Think of all the good things that have come from what you're struggling with. And honestly, there is a lot of good things. There's 3 people who have contacted us that said they're going in to get tested for their acid reflux, that, it's all under control, but they've had it for years, and they never realize that even if you have the symptoms under control, that it could be doing damage in there because the acid just keeps coming up into your esophagus from your stomach and damaging those tissues in the esophagus. that part to me was big. And we've only heard from 3 people. How many people did we not hear from that are still going in and getting checked? That was cool. You know, he's been able to express his love to people and receive love from people who maybe he's not ever said, I love you with you or whatever, but you've said it now to him, and it means so much. He hasn't spoke with his daughter in 6 years, and she called him. So that was amazing and just really incredible to watch. And when I went to the bank here to close my account, I was a wreck. And the woman behind the counter, or, you know, behind the desk and stuff said, you know, she was just doing paperwork. And she said, what is the reason for you closing your account today? And I was not a very nice person. I just blurted it out. I was just looking out the window and I said, my husband has cancer and I need the money. And all of a sudden it was just like quiet. And then she goes, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I have cancer too. And I just looked at her and I go, what? And she goes, yeah, I'm battling cancer. I have it in 3 places in my body right now. And I was like, I mean, we just got up from the desk. I came around the desk. We just held each other tight. We were just bawling our eyes out and we just prayed over each other. And it was incredible. He had a guy contact him that's never prayed in his life before. And it was an insurance call of some kind. And so at the very end of the call, Charlie said, can I just ask you, sir, if you would pray for me? Just pray for me and pray for a miracle for me and for my family. And the guy was kind of caught off guard and he was like, oh, yeah, okay. Well, evidently he's never prayed before. He didn't know how to pray. He had to call his mom to find out how to pray and prayed with her for Charlie. And then he called Charlie back and left a message and he said, you know, I've never prayed for somebody before. I didn't even know what that felt like or to do that. And he said, but since I told you I was going to, I figured I better. And he said, I'm going to pray for you every day now. And that was a big deal for him too. So a lot of people reaching out, a lot of people helping. But you know, the other thing is we've learned so much. We thought, oh my gosh, what do people do when they get this news? So much paperwork and there's so much stress and there's just so much emotion and it's such a whirlwind in your head. And many of you, I'm sure all of you, were in shock when you heard this news, because usually you hear somebody has cancer and, you know, it's like, oh, stage 1, or, you know, oh, God, that sucks. We're going to fight it. But, you know, to come and say, hey, you know, we've been told we have weeks to live. Get your affairs in order, to somebody like this, that is such a amazing, wonderful person, that it's hard. It's hard. It's hard on you guys. I know it's hard on us too. But, you know, I think after the initial shock and that we've kind of come to terms with this, what we've got to do in front of us in this fight that we have. I mean, this morning we woke up, we were so powerful this morning. We are getting our routine down. We're figuring it out. We're in just constant